OGLEE in the house once again, once again. Thank goodness, thank goodness. I gotta say something about this Breonna Taylor case. I just have to say something, and I got to. Because I'm trying to figure out what people thought the police were gonna do. What were the police gonna do in this situation? Granted, Breonna Taylor should have never necessarily been killed. I'm trying to understand though, from just a common sense standpoint, Brianna's previous boyfriend apparently was involved in something because they were doing an investigation. Unless we want to say that the cops are rogue about that, right? So let's give them that they had an investigation going. And the investigation somehow, through whatever means, turned up that her previous boyfriend may have still been using her apartment or using her apartment for to stash drugs and money. This is what the investigation was involved in, from what I understand. So we can't blame anybody for that. A lot of people have a lifestyle like that. My boyfriend sells drugs, right? Some girls, my boyfriend sells drugs. So that could have been the case with her previous boyfriend. And we don't know. Maybe that's why she left him. Who knows? But anyway, there's an ongoing investigation. So everything is legit at this point. Then, if you listen to the current boyfriend, he says, first of all, that Brianna wasn't asleep. He says that they heard the knock on the door and they didn't know what it was. So he said Brianna actually called out, yelled out, "Who is it?" They said to no avail. They didn't get any answer. So he said they were more alert. Now they starting to get up and they, matter of fact, he said they started getting dressed. And he even said that he was thinking maybe it was the former boyfriend. So here I say too that you got a beef with, possibly a beef with the former boyfriend. This is Brianna's current boyfriend. So we got something going on here still, right? But the current boyfriend being in a Brianna's apartment, he did nothing wrong by getting up, getting strapped, and actually, when no one answered as to who it was, and they came banging in, as you know, the police use those rammers. When they came banging in, he did the right thing in his apartment or in, his girlfriend's apartment. He fired a shot, and everything to this point is legit. The police have just exercised a no-knock warrant. The boyfriend's on the other side of it. He doesn't know what's going on. He has the right to get his pistol that he owned legally, and he fired. Now, this is where it gets sticky, because the police are trained. What did you think the police were going to do when this shot came through the door? They're not going to turn around and say, "Hey, we better get out of here." They're going to open fire and start shooting at everything in front of them. And that's when Brianna got caught in the crossfire. I don't think that the police said, "There's a young lady right there on the bed or by the bed, in the living room, in the kitchen, wherever, and we're going to shoot this young lady." I think that's why you see bullets that went in the wall that the one guy did get shot for because it endangered somebody in the next apartment. The police just went willy-nilly with their shooting, and that's what they do. Sometimes they go so willy-nilly, just like in the military, they end up shooting one of their own. In this case, it didn't happen. But that's what the police do. They open fire and shoot anything in front of them, and that's what they did in this case. So the brother, who happens to be the attorney general, I don't think that he's a sellout because he ultimately had to decide it this way. There were other people in the investigation with him. He just had to ultimately render the decision. But I don't think he sold anything out. Again, what were the police supposed to do at that point when that man fired that shot towards them? What police do is they open fire and shoot everything moving, everything that's not moving. They shoot everything in front of them. And that's what happened in this case. I'm so thankful that they gave her family $12 million. Now, granted, they would, I'm sure, prefer to have Brianna back, but at the very least, they did get some kind of compensation, because in this case, I would have had to agree with the attorney general. I don't know what the police did wrong. They exercised a legal no-knock warrant. and someone shot on the other side, the police are not going to turn and run. They're going to open fire and shoot everything in front of them. Bottom line, this was one of those cases where, we had some things going on at some point, and the police's investigation led them to Breonna Taylor's apartment. And I mean, it's unfortunate, but there was a life that was lost. Thank goodness they didn't charge the boyfriend or follow through with the charge, because initially they charged him. But when they had to break it down and really get to the nitty gritty and go through the motions, he didn't do anything wrong. But it was just one of them things that when he fired, the police, they opened fire, and unfortunately, Taylor got killed. But I'm just bringing this up to say this. I keep hearing people say, first of all, that the police were just like they were, like, executioners, and that now that the brother didn't charge them, that he's a sellout. Again, they came with a no-knock warrant. They were executing a no-knock warrant. They got a shot fired on them. They opened fire in return. They didn't know if it was the first boyfriend or whoever it was. They didn't know who was there. They were not supposed to stop in their tracks and say, oh, wait, these people are shooting because they've got the right to shoot at us. No. They opened fire. It's an unfortunate case, but I just think that people are taking this thing the wrong way. And I'm not defending the cops. I'm just saying, in a nutshell, the cops have a job to do. If we go there and our job is to exercise this warrant, and it's a no-knock basis, we know it's danger. It's going to be danger because we're going to be ramming into someone's home. And if there's someone on the other side who opens fire for any reason, whether he's defending his home or not, we don't know the situation. All we know as police is that we came upon some open fire, and we, in return, open fire. Could they have done it another way? I don't know. And I'm not a police. And neither are most of the people who are watching this and watch the whole Breonna Taylor case. So we don't know their procedure. But I do know I've seen other cases where they have no-knock warrants. And we've seen it on cops and all that shit. They have the battering ram. They bang the door open and they get the people. The idea is to try to catch people by surprise. And they've been doing that ever since, way before any Breonna Taylor ever even existed. So we've been accepting that. We've been accepting that. And so in this case, it just didn't go the way they expected it to. Because again, there was somebody on the other side with a legal gun that could protect his property or the property he was, whoever it belonged to, who he was with. So he had the right to do this. It just didn't go the way that the police anticipated. But they were in the right. They were legal to exercise the weapon. The new boyfriend, he was also in the right. The problem came when he exercised his right. The police then had to open fire because somebody's shooting. What are we doing when somebody shoots at us? We turn around and we go crazy. They shoot everything in sight and let God sort it out. Anyway, this is OGLEE, and I'll see you again.